What's up? It's your girl, Miss DiDiBaybe. I am back with another reaction video with I Said What I Said. We're going to get into these videos today. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe if you like these videos that I'm doing. Let's get into it. I said
what I said.
Girl, stop playing. You know my
Another planet has life. This is the most evidence they've ever got.
Scientists have found the strongest evidence yet that a planet 124 light years away could be home to life.
It's 2 times bigger than Earth. It's very far from us, but it has this gas called DMS, and that gas is found on Earth in ocean. So that whole thing they said, it's gonna be water. It's 2 times bigger than Earth. The shit they have there is probably like the megalodon, like the real like
The astronaut who first entered the lunar city shot himself in 1973, leaving behind a journal with only one entry repeated on every page. They built it for us before we existed. They knew we were coming. They knew when. They knew our names. I found that journal 3 days ago in a safety deposit box in Galveston, Texas, alongside 17 photographs that shouldn't exist, and a handwritten letter addressed to me by name, dated November 1969. My name is Owen Mercer. I'm 53 years old, and until last Tuesday, I worked as an archivist for the National Archives facility in College Park, Maryland. 31 years cataloging declassified documents. 31 years believing I understood the shape of history. The letter was from my grandfather, Theodore Mercer, who died in a psychiatric facility in 1973. The official cause was suicide. The unofficial cause, according to family whispers I'd heard since childhood, was that the moon broke his mind. Grandpa Theo was the lunar module pilot for a mission that never officially existed. Apollo 11B, they called it in the documents I wasn't supposed to find. A second landing, 12 hours after Armstrong's famous steps, on the far side where no cameras could broadcast back to Earth. The photographs showed a city, not ruins. Not ancient structures weathered by cosmic radiation and micrometeorite bombardment. A city in perfect condition, with streets and buildings and what looked like a central plaza, all of it gleaming under portable floodlights held by figures in NASA pressure suits. The architecture made no sense. The doorways were precisely 6 feet 2 inches tall, average American male height.
Hey, that's just like
the chairs visible through windows were scaled for human proportions.
Black lady on the back
And
of the
in
moon.
every photograph, the astronaut's body language screamed wrong. They stood too still. They looked at the camera with expressions the visors couldn't quite hide. Terror, confusion, and something else I couldn't name until I read the letter. Recognition. Owen, my grandfather wrote in handwriting I remembered from birthday cards. By the time you read this, you'll be the right age. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. The city showed me your face in 1969, showed me this exact moment, and I spent 4 years trying to convince myself I was insane. I wasn't. I'm sorry for what's about to happen to you, but I'm also grateful. You're the only one who can finish what I couldn't. The letter continued for 3 more pages, detailing coordinates, access codes, and the location of a second safety deposit box in Houston containing materials I would need. I drove to Houston yesterday. I shouldn't have opened that second box. I definitely shouldn't have read the xenoarchaeology report stamped with classifications I'd never seen in 3 decades of government work. But I did. And now I understand why Grandpa Theo pulled the trigger and why I probably won't. The city wasn't built for us. It was used to build us.
The
xenoarchaeology report was 347 pages long, printed on paper that had yellowed but not crumbled, stored in a humidity-controlled sleeve that probably cost more than my first car. I read it in a La Quinta Inn off Interstate 45, curtains drawn, door triple locked, a bottle of bourbon I'd bought at a gas station sweating on the nightstand. The air conditioning rattled like it was trying to tell me something. Outside, Houston sprawled under a November sky the color of old bruises. The report's cover page bore a seal I didn't recognize, an eagle clutching not arrows and olive branches, but a crescent moon and what looked like a double helix. Beneath it, in typewriter font, Project Antechamber, classification
Project
beyond Umbra,
Antechamber. It's crazy,
unauthorized disclosure punishable under Executive Order 12,958 and Supplementary Directives, TBD.
That's just part one. I don't have part two, I don't think.
Why is nobody talking about this one insane documentary that drops the most unfathomable, boldest claim ever? There's this dude named Mark McCandlish. He's an aerospace artist and insider. He says that he's got info that the United States already has technology that can reach the Andromeda galaxy.
I'm not surprised.
But here's when it gets crazy.
If you seen Bustin' Loose, then you seen those flat screens in 1972. The same ones that we got right now. Flat screens in 1972 is crazy work. It might even been, that might be even an older, that might be an older movie. I'm
called Above Majestic. This
the documentary is called Above Majestic.
Like nothing else.
If you want to go look at that, go check it out.
I was like, man, I feel like I can achieve anything in life now. It really changed how I saw the world. But there's this one particular clip that hit me the hardest. It's the clip that made it all click for me. This man named Mark McCandlish drops a nuke. This fool drops an insane bombshell. And when you hear what he says, it might shake you up too. But I'm not even trying to spoil it. Let me just roll the clip.
Well, some of the testimony that's come to me over the last year in particular has been nothing short of startling in terms of the degree to which the space program, the secret space program, has expanded. I've talked to people who have said that there is and has been an ongoing extrasolar planetary colonization program that's been going on for decades. I mean, to the point where one of the people who had actually gone, and this was the claim that he made, that he was on a warp-capable spacecraft that went from here to the edge of the Andromeda galaxy in 20 minutes.
Whoa,
and
20 minutes.
They've located at least 8 Earth-like planets in some of the star systems along the edge of the
I think
galaxy.
they told us about them 8-like planets.
8 of those planets had human life on them. They were Earth-sized planets.
They did not say if there's human life on them.
Sun-like stars similar to our sun, at approximately the same distances. They wound up using some kind of radio telemetry sensors to determine which ones were broadcasting in conventional radio and television signals. They found 2 planets like that, 2 of which were speaking English.
Oh my God, they speak English in other countries, on other planets.
Or this system,
they speak English on other planets.
Anybody would dream. But he described seeing cities and roads and cars and people and conventional clothing speaking English. And there's only one way that that's possible, I mean, other than parallel universe type of
I wonder if the middle finger mean the same thing over there as it mean here.
For much longer.
Bruh, you see what I'm saying?
Nah, I see what you're saying.
8 planets on the edge of a different galaxy.
But I feel like that they have told us about the 8 different Earth-like planets in our solar system. I feel like they've told us that.
English, normal cars,
but they did not tell us that they speak in English over there.
We really are not alone. If this is true, then anything is possible. And life is way bigger than what we ever imagined. Man, I just had to make a video about this. Let me know what y'all think.
It's crazy work.
Pay attention to the water, not the skies. That's what I told all of you, but did you listen? No. And now multiple reports coming out of Florida are confirming from sailors, Navy officers, military personnel that there is.
If you have not been watching UFO congressional hearings, you need to do that.
Now,
okay, there's a lot of information coming out.
1,000 different orbs that are floating above this mothership. I kept trying to tell you, I'm an air sign, but something kept saying it's more about the water. It's the water. They're not showing up in the skies. There are going to be versions of them showing up in the sky, but pay attention to the water. When I got into
I feel like they in both areas. I feel like there are some coming from other planets to observe us, like we're the zoo.
It's not over the skies.
And there are some that live here.
And now people are coming
in the water and in the oceans, and maybe even among us.
Before you say
could be your
photos
cousin,
or didn't exist,
okay? Just
I have
saying.
so many friends from Florida sending me videos and photos. I have them, but TikTok has this thing where it removes the video if you attach those. So I'm just going to say, take what you will, leave what you won't, but I told you, pay attention to the water, not the sky. And obviously, anything is for entertainment, education, conversation purposes only, but
It's for entertainment
you're smart.
This lady
purposes
right
only.
here is what doctors would call a schizophrenic, and these drawings are what she sees during these schizophrenic episodes. For those of you guys out there who have been diligent in your research, these faces look familiar. These type of beings look familiar. If you know, you know. To me, they look like draconian, reptilian, hybrid beings.
You're right, brother.
I know it sounds crazy. It sounds extremely crazy. Something like out of a science fiction movie or novel.
True.
But people actually do experience and have encounters with these things. I've seen these things in dreams before.
I've never seen them.
This lady is seeing them through these schizophrenic episodes.
Not in person.
Talk about
I've never seen them.
Because a lot of the time you will have people who will call Christians religious psychosis, schizophrenic, as like a derogatory term to pretty much invalidate our faith, invalidate our experiences. Look, if you experience something supernatural or spiritual, nobody can take that from you. You're not crazy. They're going to sit here and try to label you crazy, but it's all gaslighting. Don't go for any of it. It's all written in the Bible. The Bible is the only truth in the world. Just trust that in the Bible, people have been having spiritual experiences since the dawn of time. We are spiritual beings who are made in the image of God. I'm convinced that people who are diagnosed with schizophrenia or any of those psychological conditions that causes them to have these sort of episodes or hallucinations, I'm convinced that, in fact, they can just see into another dimension. And I say this because, well, if you look at what's going on now, I make videos about it all the time, but apparently there is more life out there, and they're trying to tell us that they are extraterrestrial, but for the longest, the Bible has told us, and other Christians have been telling other people, that no, it's not extraterrestrial, it's interdimensional. For those of you who don't know what interdimensional means, it means while we're on planet Earth, there are other dimensions which our eyes cannot see into, but there are other worlds within those dimensions, and interdimensional that is what spiritual warfare is. So when people have sleep paralysis and they see things like this in their bedroom at night,
10 dimensions
or other types of entities or beings, that is them looking into another dimension. And if you guys didn't know, when you sleep, your brain releases a chemical known as DMT, and that's what gives some people such vivid dreams, vivid visions throughout their nighttime, is because your brain is releasing DMT. Now, I'm no scientist, but I would argue that this DMT chemical that is within our brain that gets released,
we already have DMT. I feel like if you decide to drop some DMT into your system, that's like some overload.
The spiritual world, if you will. And I say this because science will also tell you that when people unalive and they pass away, their brain releases all of the DMT in their body. And I think that's why a lot of people who are under the impression that there is no afterlife, that there is no God that they will have to face. Well, once your body shuts down, it releases all of that DMT into your brain. It transports your soul back into the dimensions of eternity and the spiritual realm. And people have a rude awakening, unfortunately. They didn't want to believe it on earth. That's why the Bible tells us that which is seen is temporal, but that which is unseen is eternal. The Bible tells us that we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. All throughout the Bible, the prophets account their visions and their dreams.
If you don't know, now you know.
I was taken in the spirit, and this is what this means. So people like this lady who they diagnosed with schizophrenia, look, you guys can look through a bunch of schizophrenic patients, and they are all having similar visions of these creatures right here. Some of them will see family members or other people who are being disguised as these, who are demons who are disguising themselves as these other people. But no matter what, I wanted to come on here and say that this condition,
you want to see,
I would make the argument and say,
I don't know how it works,
it is not schizophrenia,
but I seen something about it
put upon
on
modern
socials.
medicine put
Right,
upon it,
there's a
so that
simulator
people can
app.
take their mind out of the spiritual possibilities of this
Each
world.
one of
Look, you guys are seeing what's
the
happening
mental
in the news.
health.
You're seeing the same spaceships I'm seeing. You're seeing these same encounters.
Check that out
Just the other
so that
day,
you can
Russia
educate
was over here
yourself
blasting at the UFO in the sky. I'm about to make a video on that as well. Guys, you see what's happening. It's the book of Revelation. It's the great revealing. The Bible tells us that men's hearts will fail them for fear, for looking at those things which are coming upon the face of the earth. You want to know why men's hearts are going to fail them for fear at the end of everything? It's because they've lived a life where they believe that none of these things existed. So when the veil gets pulled back and we all can see into the other dimensions, and it's a spiritual and natural world collision, people are not going to be able to bear it, and they will have heart attack, and they won't even believe their own eyes, they won't even believe their own mind. Now look, don't take my word for it, but it's coming for everybody. It was written in the Word of God. So guys, I pray that this video did open your eyes about schizophrenia a little bit, because I'm well convinced that no, it's not. You're not crazy.
I would hate to
You're not
see
crazy.
those things
in the
all
Bible,
the time,
Jesus
bro.
has healed a bunch of people.
Man, that
It's
would,
all a
like,
spiritual matter.
oof.
Don't let them gaslight you into thinking that these things are not real. They are trying to fool you. You can keep up with me on Instagram and YouTube at Blade of Judah, where I make these types of videos. God bless you. Get a relationship with Jesus while we still have time, because pretty soon it's not just going to be the schizophrenics who see things like this. It's going to be everybody. God bless.
Yeesh.
The children in 1994 will be the adults in the year 2000. Even if they're just born now, they will mature very, very fast, both physically and mentally, with the new vibrations. Why? Because they have not had a lot of time to clog up. They have not had a lot of time to get all of the shots that have held us back, all of the misteachings that we've had to unlearn. They're here seeking truth, and if they hear a lie, they know a lie just like that. 3 lies and you've lost them. It'll take you a year to regain what you told them in 3 lies. You cannot lie to these children. But if you start telling them the truth and don't treat them like children, treat them with love and treat them as advanced adults, they will mature like they're supposed to very fast. When the physical body grows fast, the mental body is supposed to grow 5 times as fast.
Wow.
Look at those developing young and now understand what you've messed up if you haven't tried to reach the mind, which is 5 times faster than the body. Did you just hear what I said? Look at those advanced, developed, at 12 and 13, looking like you didn't look until you were 20 and 25. And understand that the brain is 5 times ahead of that, and see the opportunity you may be missing.
In real time. Like, we matured really fast. I think so.
Okay, so I've been looking for this footage for years. I seen this years ago.
I seen this years ago too,
somebody
man.
was filming a baseball game. You know, their kids were at a baseball game. And
yeah, I know y'all see that.
You know, these are
crazy, but
I think it's one or two. It might be 2 interdimensional beings. But he didn't see them. When he went back and checked the video, then he noticed it in the video, you know? But you know, they couldn't see it with the, you know, he couldn't see it with his naked eye. Nobody can see it with their naked eyes, you know?
Man.
And
no
I
one's
love
seen
this
that.
one. I love this one. I've been looking for this for years. This took place in Mexico in 2014. And if you go to my YouTube channel, it's called Gray Octopussy. That's why I always put that Gray Octopussy on YouTube.
That's crazy.
I did a full video and I showed other interdimensional beings, you know, on my presentation of this. So go to my YouTube channel if you want to see more like this. All right? Let me know what you think. Okay.
They just crashed. So the oil industry lobbied the U.S. government, we have to do something about this. And in 1951, the Invention Secrecy Act was passed. So now, if you patent any device that is more than 20% efficient, that's instantly classified. That is now a state secret. It's vital to national security.
Water engines,
you can't talk about
you'll
it.
Never get those.
You can't build it, and you can't sell it unless you sell it to the U.S. military. You cannot do it. That went on for a while. And then there was a man named Tom Ogle. And Tom is this is the 70s now. He accidentally rewires his lawnmower engine to take the exhaust and pump it back into the carburetor. And this thing runs on a gallon of gas for 78 hours or something like that. So he can reconfigure his car. It's like a 1976 Ford Galaxy, you know, like a boat. And he's getting 200 miles to the gallon on the thing. He's offered $1 billion from an oil-producing country. Shell Oil offers him $25 million for the patent that he considers, but they're going to shelve it. So he says no. It's considered, you know, maybe one of the biggest inventions of the century. Suddenly, Tom, without a history of drug use, stumbles out of a bar. He's drunk and he's killed, and that's the end of Tom Ogle's story. And
classic CIA move.
All disappears. All that research goes away. And this repeats over and over and over again till we get to Stanley Meyer. And you might remember Stanley Meyer and the water car. This is 1990s now. So
believe me, go look at it.
Now we have a vehicle that we're not even talking about fossil fuels and protecting a multi-trillion-dollar industry. We've got a car that runs on water. using electrolysis, which has been around since the 1700s. But electrolysis requires a lot of energy and perfect water without impurities. But Stanley's figured out how to take tap water, put it into his car, and run his car on water. And what it does is splits the water into hydrogen, oxygen, runs on hydrogen. Hydrogen is a fuel, it works. And it works, and he drives it all over the place. It's all over the news. Engineers look at it. They say, this is the invention of the century. This changes everything. He's offered $1 billion and millions of dollars, and everyone wants his engine. And he's sitting at, he's sitting at a Cracker Barrel with his brother and some investors, and they raise a glass to toast the new investment and go into the future. And they take their toast. And Stanley suddenly doesn't feel well. He runs outside. He starts vomiting. His brother chases after him and says, "What's going on?"
Stanley's brother was in the car.
Says, "They poisoned me," and he dies.
He ran out and told his
in
brother.
The medical examiner's report, it says he died of an aneurysm. But if you read the report, you can tell the medical examiner didn't really like that because he wrote some other stuff like, he said he was poisoned, but toxicology doesn't really show it. But it says he died of an aneurysm, and that technology is now gone. The patent's useless because Stanley faked the numbers because he didn't trust the government, because he had another invention that most people don't know about before his water car, which was
they're gonna try to get that boy.
This toroid ring. A toroid is a donut. This donut-shaped ring that he invented that created energy out of nothing and levitated. But he patented it. It got and it got hit with the Secrecy Act, and they made his life miserable. But people started to learn about that, and that brings us. There are other inventors in between. Townsend Brown invents this anti-gravity technology. He runs into all kinds of bad luck. All these men have their research stolen. They're broken into. They're carrying guns. They're threatened. They're disappearing. It happens over and over and over again. I have an episode on this. It's very sad.
It's true and crazy.
And we get to Floyd Sparky Sweet. He's my favorite because his inventions, he videotaped all of his stuff. And you see him in his workshop. And Sparky, he's an engineer. He's a garage tinkerer, but he's an engineer. And this was supervised by a military physicist. Maybe it was a mistake. And you see him running a fan at high RPMs. And then he's got light bulbs, all of this energy, and it's all running off this little box the size of a deck of cards. And he puts in 0.03 milliwatts, and he gets out all the watts you want.
Wow.
It's a device that no matter what you attach to it, it just, whatever the need is, it will give you the energy. This is Sparky Sweet. This actually connects to UFO technology. I don't know if we'll go there, but it does connect. So Sparky's got this invention. He gets some help from a military physicist. Gets a visit late one night, two men in suits come talk to him, say goodnight. He has a heart attack. Ambulance comes. They grab Sparky. The wife is not allowed in the ambulance.
Look it up. Not lying.
He dies.
I know it sounds crazy. Look it up.
Soon after, a couple of black vans pull up. They take all his stuff, all his notes, every piece of equipment, and it just disappears. And that's the last we heard.
Look it up. Shout out to that boy. He is on the Wi-Fi. I love the Wi-Fi.
An 8-dimensional lattice called E8 projected into 3 dimensions, which is one of the craziest sort of sphere-packing gadgets. This is ultimately maybe the weirdest object in the universe. It comes from a 248-dimensional group.
That's it. Wow.
Okay.
248-dimensional group. That's a lot of dimensions. You know, we live in a 10-dimensional world. I can't even fathom what that would even look like in those other dimensions for real. That's crazy.
Did someone catch a fairy on video? This person claimed to have caught a fairy on their house security camera. Look at it. When you pause the image slightly, this is what you see. Could it have actually been a Tinkerbell flying in their security cam? Before I continue, Trump is still trying to ban TikTok. Just in case he bans TikTok, I found an app just like it. Link is in the bio if you want to join too. I'm gonna be on there. But some people claim the fairy video is actually a
fairies are real.
But I don't know.
Files came
you guys
out.
think it was a fairy or what?
They released it. They told us. Fairies, goblins, elves, all of it.
Before he ever imagined seeing something magical, Steve Macbeth installed security cameras to be purely practical.
Able to see who's been wandering around your place. This cat visits pretty much every night. And
whenever the camera's triggered, Steve immediately gets a notification on his phone saying if it's a human or an animal.
All sorts of critters are constantly moving past it.
But there have been a couple times when the camera captured people.
The person that walked through the front yard had actually done some break-ins that same evening.
So when he got a similar notification the other night, Steve feared the worst.
And it said that it saw a person.
And what was the person doing?
Well, it wasn't a person.
And it wasn't one of the usual animals either.
It was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
It appeared in the left corner of the screen, a bright white dot that suddenly turned and flew straight at the camera.
It looked kind of
now I will say that some of the videos I've seen of the fairies, it looked like a praying mantis to me.
Yes, exactly.
However,
while that magical moment was
fairies
quickly
are real.
replaced by a mundane explanation, it was still wonderful.
I just thought that other people would have a kick out of it as well.
So Steve took the time to post the fairy video on his local community page.
The very first one was a guy that said a rolled-up newspaper would take care of that.
But after that, more than a couple people mentioned Tinkerbell. Hundreds expressed their gratitude, and tens of thousands watched the magic unfold.
If you've never seen a grasshopper fly,
response to this.
But even better is seeing this video of one of his granddaughters, Isabel, watching the fairy footage for the first time in awe.
Always remember the time their goofy little granddad got himself on TV because of the fly that flew by his security camera.
Or they will never forget that time their couldn't-be-more wonderful granddad made the effort to make his world, if just for a moment, feel like magic.
Oh, just to look for things that are unusual in life. You never know where something like that is going to pop up and be a bit of fun.
Flying around outside your house.
Here are the conspiracy theories floating around TikTok this week. They're pretty wild, so sit down, get a drink, and take a minute. Number 1, Justin Bieber and Selena Gomez had a baby. They were given the option of sacrificing Selena or sacrificing the baby. They chose to sacrifice Selena. The baby was given to Kourtney Kardashian, and it is now affectionately known as Rain. Selena Gomez did die, and the person who was walking around as Selena Gomez is not Selena Gomez. That's all the information I have. I'm sure there's a lot more. Go down that rabbit hole. Number 2, a lot of people in Hollywood and politics have been involved in some sort of cannibalism. This week we've called out Ellen DeGeneres. Now I asked ChatGPT to confirm if that was in the Epstein files. They said they cannot confirm, but this has been going like all over the internet. So again, do your research. Number 3, remember when the aliens landed at the Miami Mall and there was like 1,000 cops that showed up and then we kind of like never heard about it again? Well, supposedly the coordinates of the Miami Mall are like some sort of reverse order, a tiny bit off from the coordinates of Antarctica. It is widely conspiracy theorized that Antarctica is where you can get away from the simulation that is Earth, and or where we keep and talk with extraterrestrials and aliens. So they landed at the Miami Mall by accident. They clearly should have been in Antarctica. Number 4, the day that Charlie Kirk died, a suspicious amount of young men were wearing maroon shirts on the UVU campus. Now, maroon is not a part of their campus colors. So what does that mean? Well, in the Epstein files, there is colors listed for special operation forces, meaning that the people who are part of a special operations force wear a certain color during that ops that they know like who's in on the op, okay? There are colors listed in the Epstein files, and there is one day where the color is redacted. That day is the day that Charlie Kirk died.
Maybe we'll read it together one day.
Certainly not least, the government has the technology to know what we are thinking in our minds and serve us the ads and or information that we are thinking. I think a lot of us have like seen this and it's like really creepy. But someone said that it's like confirmed in some sort of way that they know what we're thinking. They serve us these ads again. Butter and here's the creepiest part. They control what we do and don't see and our emotional reactions to them. There is a conspiracy theory going around that is why there has not been a larger emotional reaction to the Epstein files because they are purposely suppressing it in our brains because of these things. So, if you're wondering how not to spiral, whether you should believe all this, don't listen to me. I believe some of them, not all of them. Certainly do your research. That's
half of them I definitely believe. I don't know about the Epstein file thing.
So God updated the servers again last night, y'all. And he gave us this new DLC. It's a yellow quill tip porcupine.
Oh my
seen
God.
One of these in my life. Can't tell by the tail. Looks like a possum. But yeah, that's the update.
Oh my God, it's a Pikachu.
So there's a video going around that's going absolutely viral about a huge anaconda that's located on the Amazon River. But is it real or not? Let me show you the video.
We don't know. The AI is getting good. AI is getting so good. That's AI. That is AI. Did you see the head that was coming out the side of that thing? Okay, that's AI video.
This was picked
I
up
don't
by
believe it.
Latin US. Let me show you what their page looks like. Yes, this video was picked up by a verified account with 12.8 million followers. Now let's analyze the video and see if it is real or not.
I feel like it's an AI video, okay? Because it looks, you know how AI does, right? Huh. Oh, they talking about me. They talking about me right now. Shout out to all the unicorns that are in hiding right now. You don't have to hide anymore. Come on out into the open. Show them that we exist. We are here. We're not going anywhere. Said what I said. In real time, though. In real time. This is nuts, man. I can't even imagine digging in my yard and finding something like that, yo, for real.
Scientists just captured the clearest ever footage of a forbidden tribe hidden deep in the Amazon jungle, and what they saw shocked everyone. There's a group called the Mashco Piro, around 750 people,
ones that they
living
found
in one of the most
time
remote parts of the Peruvian
when
rainforest
they
near
was
the
trying
Brazil
to hit them
border.
with them spears.
For years, we
Yeah,
only had blurry
That's
photos
them.
taken from far away because getting close could kill them with modern diseases they have no immunity to. Now, new footage shows them stepping out of the forest onto a remote river beach, pushing through a swarm of butterflies, holding bows and arrows, staring straight at the cameras. Slowly, they lower their weapons and move closer, curious while viewers online debate if they're truly uncontacted after spotting what looks like modern rope and traded items. What do you think about this isolated tribe?
Yeah, they
Tell us in
might
the
not be
comments. Don't
isolated
forget to
anymore.
like the
They
video,
probably done figured
subscribe,
it out.
and share so you never miss our next strange story from Speedy Facts.
Shout out Speedy Facts. They be giving out them facts. Yo. Do you think that this is real? Drop it in the comments. Do you think that that is real? Okay?
Naik, woi! Naik, wah, balik itu naon! Itu naon itu! Woi, naik! Woi, itu naon, woi! Wow!
Oh my God.
Naon, woi! Naik, woi! Naik, wah, balik itu naon! Itu naon itu! Woi, naik! Woi, itu naon, woi! Wow! Itu naon, woi!
What is it?
Naik, woi! Naik, wah, balik itu naon! Itu naon itu! Woi, naik! Woi, itu naon, woi! Wow!
Asia, they have these human people who have been living underground. Man, that is crazy.
This is evidence of animal and human fusion. An account called Raw Pass has exposed a mysterious biolab in Tennessee. They use genetic fusion to create new species with human brains and animal abilities. Just look at this. Centaurs, giraffe humans, and even phoenix humans. Is this an evolutionary miracle or the start of a disaster?
They got to be using some kind of filter, bro. That is crazy.
This picture was taken around 1901. This was the last known human giant Neanderthals that was still alive.
Man, they like to try to tell us. Now, I don't know if this is a real picture or not, okay? I have to analyze it later, come back and tell y'all if that's a real picture, okay? But they like to tell us
There's
that
only
giants
four
didn't exist, they
phenotypes.
existed.
Dravidian, Caucasoid, Mongoloid, which is Asians and Koreans and all of them. And then there's Negroid, which is me and Africans. And so here's the issue that I'm having. Scientifically, according to the Australian Research Center for Ancient DNA, we can prove that white people, Caucasoid people, because even if you don't identify as white, the term Jew is not a genealogical description. You can't genealogically be a Jew. Y'all all fall genetically in the category of Caucasoid. And Caucasoids, according to not only history, but biblical history as well, descend from the Caucasus Mountains. How, with the Middle East being an extension of Africa, are Caucasoids claiming that they are native to a land that not only they were never there, they were there and inhabited it after us. And so here's my thing, right? When we dealing with biblical genealogy, right? You brought up Jacob, right? Now, we know that there were no J's back then.
There was no J's back then.
And people say that there were Y's. Now, I disagree with that as well, but staying on that notion, Jacob would be Yaakov, which people would say is Yakub.
Yeah.
Now, Yakub in Hebrew literally means subplanter. Okay, so when we talk about subplanting, right? To subplant, they're talking about genetic engineering. Now, why is this important? I'm not being racist. Let me pull up the damn article.
We are not
This
racist
right here is from Molecular Biology and Evolution. And this clearly states that if you are not a descendant, it says if your heritage is non-African, you are part Neanderthal. Now the number specifically is you are 93% human and 7% Neanderthal. Caucasians come from Dravidians. So when we talk about white people coming from albinos, here's the problem. They don't come from African albinos, or Caucasoids, I should say. Don't come from African albinos. This man over here on the left is an African albino. You can clearly still see he's an African. This man right here, which kind of looks like you but has blonde hair, comes from this albino Dravidian. So everybody just looking at this picture would think that this is a white man. This is not a white man. This is an albino Dravidian. When we're
wow, I just learned something new. Did you learn something new too? We should have learned that together at this point.
So you're telling me there are aquatic humans living in the Bermuda Triangle?
Not just any aquatic humans, an entirely separate branch of evolution. One that's been hiding beneath the waves for thousands of years. Deep in the ocean's trenches where no human could ever survive, they've built entire cities, advanced civilizations, societies that mirror ours in ways we can't even begin to understand. Years ago, an agent, Jonathan Blake, was sent to investigate unusual sonar readings, strange signals, vanishing ships, missing aircraft. The kind of stuff they always blame on bad weather, pilot error. Just another accident. But what he found, oh, it was something else entirely. A massive underwater metropolis hidden beneath the currents.
We just heard about the man who got kidnapped by the dolphins to build the underwater
that glows in the
civilization.
Dark,
Stop playing, okay?
Massive reflective eyes, built for the depths, built for a world we were never meant to see. And yet, somehow they've been seeing us.
Jeffrey and them.
This is just a theory.
This sounds like Jeffrey and them's work. Okay. Bro. Okay, we gotta watch. That looks like that is a cuneiform mud clay tablet up under a watch. Look like a Folex. What is this? Oh my God. It's a man. It's a man with a beard. He looked fairly white though. That's questionable. Who is this? What's this supposed to be? I don't know if that's real. I'm gonna have to check that out and tell y'all later on if there's some real stuff going on in this video. Any mummification, I believe, found in the Mesopotamia era during the time when they was writing cuneiform, is no way that they had that kind of hair.
I've heard from people in the Pentagon that the buzzword in the secret of secrets in the Pentagon is the Sumerian gods are returning.
Ooh.
And that's what they're referring to, is that whole area that Peter saw.
Wow. Can you repeat that again, just in case anybody missed it?
Repeat
that last word
in the Pentagon, in the the military circles that are in the know about the cover-up here. They kind of, in whispered tones, talk about the return of the Sumerian gods, and they're talking about the what we would call aliens or fallen angels returning into the Middle East, into Old Sumer area.
The Anunnaki.
Oh,
at that time, I didn't know.
What do you think
we
now?
have been in touch with the Anunnaki.
Okay. And are you aware of the Clark McClelland sort of testimony that talks about, this very, very tall spaceman do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So that was an Anunnaki, right?
Say again?
That was an Anunnaki. That was supposedly Clark McClelland always said that he saw this very large, tall being instructing a couple of our astronauts on television screen.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
That was.
Well, if the beings he's talking of were almost like black Africans, yeah.
Black Africans, which I would believe that, because melanin would be necessary to travel in the radiation in space. Y'all gotta understand, like, even if you don't believe that there's no space or whatever you believe, okay, the amount of radiation that's out there will require you to have an extreme amount of melanin to be out there with no suit.
Long before the craft began appearing over his backyard. This amazing video footage shows a glowing disc approximately 9 feet in diameter hovering just feet from his house. In a blink of an eye, the craft disappears. Once the footage is slowed down, we can clearly see the craft dematerialized frame by frame.
You want me to prove you that they exist? I took hundreds of them to the mountain and said, now watch, they're going to come from that direction. And I called them and they hold it above them. They saw with their own eyes. I told them what to chant, and they chanted, and the ship came close, beamed light, and took off. I said, that those people are waiting to take you.
Yeesh. Well, that is the end of our video, okay? And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like and subscribe, okay? I said what I said. Better like and subscribe on this video. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.